You're listening to 5 Things with Lisa Birnbach.
Hi, it's Lisa Birnbach, and if I sound giddy, it's because I got to go to the beach over the weekend. I went twice. It was the kind of weekend that belongs to the beach or on the beach, and if you've been with me since last summer, you know I'm crazy for the beach, and you know that I never feel I get enough of it. And last summer, I think I was on the beach for under 6 hours for the whole summer. Well, it was a soothing, happy, peaceful, and content weekend at the seashore. I will maybe one day study the reason the brain can give me optimal feedback just by being tide adjacent. Maybe I won't. Maybe it was the sound of the waves, and maybe they do that thing that whispering and quiet sounds do. You know, they call it ASMR, I think. And they say it's like the brain having an orgasm because it's tickled a little. Or maybe just being by the beach returns me to beautiful memories and lovely memories of growing up on the beaches of Long Island. You know what? Who cares? I just love it. Let it not be unsaid that part of the great pleasure of the weekend was spending time with our friends Diane and Mark. And hi to you, Joyce, and their son, James. We adore them and look forward to this weekend every year. It's been a giddy time in the art of letters, too, and our guest this week is first-time novelist Taffy Brodesser-Akner, the it girl of fiction this summer with her first novel called Fleishman Is in Trouble. Critics have raved about this book, but those of us who are her fans of her feature writing in the New York Times aren't surprised she had it in her. I'm so looking forward to our conversation, but in the meantime, here are my 5 things. Number 1, this seems to be the year of one-piece bathing suits. Yay! We used to call them tank suits. Why? I don't know. Why did we stop calling them that? I don't know. I stopped wearing bikinis in, I'm guessing, the George W. Bush administration, and it has felt like, oh, I'm one of these old people in a one-piece until this summer. And you see pictures of Olivia Wilde and Gwyneth Paltrow and Sarah Jessica Parker in one-piece bathing suits. And you know what? They look good. And it makes me feel more like with it as opposed to out of it. And I have a bathing suit this summer that I actually like. So, yay. Number 2, getting a bill adjusted. You know how you get overcharged for something and then you think, I should call them, I should follow up. And then the grind of it, and then knowing you're going to be pressing a button on your phone screaming, representative, 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 and that you'd rather just not, and you'd rather eat the money. Well, I did it. I had a weird charge on a bill for a car share, not Zipcar, the other one, Enterprise. And I spoke to a human being, and she explained the misunderstanding and promised to refund the money. And it felt like a victory. And it reminded me we shouldn't let those charges go untested because that was wrong. And now I feel better. And I'm $55 richer. And that matters. Number 3, a baby in the family. A tiny little creature, my son's son, is truly a connector. And you know what? A bundle of joy. It truly is that, because he's this big fat thing who is swaddled, doesn't have much to say yet, but he's a bundle of joy and a reason to be happy. I guess I didn't really understand that until Exhibit E came along, but I just love even sending a picture of him to my relatives, and I know it makes us all feel good. So thank you to my son and his wonderful wife for providing a baby. Number 4, you, our followers and listeners and readers. You are a growing group of very attractive and kind people, if I may. I sense that you're rooting for those who need it. You're supporting those who are, as we say, making an effort. That effort could be anything from eating more healthily to looking for work or putting on mascara every once in a while. Maybe it even means inviting your mother-in-law for lunch. But you know what? You make an effort. You are there for our guests. You are there for me. You let me know what you think, and that feedback is valuable. So thank you. And number 5's best thing, I'm on the hunt for the perfect charm. And I'm not saying I'm compulsive. I'm not saying I'm looking all the time. I'm not saying I'm trying to amass 1,000 charms for my necklace. But I find charms to be a form of biography in a way, which is why I like them so much. I had the most fantastic charm bracelet that disappeared under murky circumstances about 12 years ago. And I can't replace those charms. But my most recent purchase, I will show a picture of it, and here it is. I'm putting it up to the microphone, is an antique charm of a little baby boy. So there you have it. And now, the It Girl of 2019, my guest, Taffy Brodesser-Akner. Today's guest is the lit It Girl. I came up with that myself today on the subway. The lit It Girl of the summer of 2019. And you know who it is. It's Taffy Brodesser-Akner,
Yes.
who wrote the best-selling book, Fleishman Is in Trouble, that everybody is talking about. The book is sold out in England. The book is sold out in that little bookstore in Southampton. The book is sold out, and people are talking about it, Taffy. And you, meanwhile, are a mother of two sons, and you work full-time for the Times.
Yeah.
So your process and your time are something that we want to talk about. But first, welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
It's wonderful to have you here, and it's wonderful to think that your first novel debuted on the New York Times bestseller list.
Yes.
When it came out, number 10, and is in its 8th printing in 2 months.
Yeah.
That's
one
great.
month. I think it's been a month.
Oh, my God. Show
Maybe
off.
5 weeks.
It's incredible. Incredible. I mean,
Thank
this
you.
doesn't happen. You understand that.
I don't know. People
Okay.
keep telling me things that didn't happen, and then I remember the people that it did happen. I don't know. I try to keep
I'm gonna just
my eyes
tell
on
you.
my own paper. I don't know.
Okay, I'm just going to give you a crash course
Do
in
it.
publishing.
Let's do it.
I, too, was once a young success, long, long time ago, before you were born. And I thought, oh, this publishing thing, I get it. You write, then they like it, then they sell it, then you go and talk about it, which couldn't be more fun. And people have read your book, which is a kind of validation right by itself.
Oh, my gosh.
Not to mention the reviews, and, oh, this is good. And people would say to me, are you nuts? This is phenomenal.
Right.
And I just thought, oh, what do they know? I'll do it again. Well, okay. We'll see you on the couch next month.
I remember your book so well.
Well, the thing is, it's very rare what's happened to you. And for you to be also understood and introduced as a literary writer. I mean, come on.
I know. I'm very lucky.
And you went to NYU. You didn't go to like one of these fancy writing
I did not go to a
programs.
fancy writing program. I have a screenwriting degree from NYU.
Well, that's something.
It's not nothing. For a
It's not
screenwriting
nothing.
degree, it's one of the fancy writing programs, but it wasn't fancy writing that I was taught.
Okay, so first, I don't even know where to start, but I think I'm going to start with this.
Okay.
I've read your articles for the New York Times. They are hilarious. They are warm. They are involving. They are great.
Thank you.
If you don't know, she's written about Gwyneth Paltrow. You got to the Heart of Goop.
Heart of Goop.
The Yoni Heart of Goop.
The yoni, the very exfoliated Heart of Goop.
The exfoliated. And there's an intimacy to your article. I felt like I, too, was sneaking a cigarette with you and Gwyneth.
We
and
were.
her staff.
We were.
And her large staff. Okay, so there's that. You went ice skating with Tanya Harding.
Yes.
Unbelievable. But all these things you do, you rediscovered 30-something, the TV show.
Remember that.
But everything you do, we learn so much about you.
Yeah.
And how does that square with the New York Times? I mean, I can't write about myself when I write for the New York Times, of course.
Are you sure?
I mean,
Have
not.
you tried it?
I did it once. But, that's basically not my thing.
Okay.
But you get to do that. You get to be I hate to invoke Hannah Horvath, but you get to be the voice of your generation.
Really? Or
yeah,
a voice
or
of
a
my
voice of a generation.
Of a generation.
But and we'll talk about Lena Dunham in a moment. But how is it that you guys can talk about yourselves so comfortably? I cannot.
I think honestly, it is our slight age difference that did it. Like, I think that there came the internet, and there came a time where in certain kinds of writing, not all of them, it was no longer seemly to pretend that nobody wrote this. Meaning there's personal essays, and those have been thriving on the internet, right? Since salons started, all of those places.
Right.
But I think that the idea that this thing got written from some clinical robot observing it is no longer what people wanted in certain categories of writing. And I think that if you take your observations and you cleanse them of anything that is indulgent, and if you can also summon the humility earned over very many personal essays, in my case especially, that everything you say is appreciated and all of it is relatable, meaning your thoughts are not original, they are just well manifested into words, then people will want to hear from you because you will be, especially in a celebrity profile, for example, you will be the link between the celebrity and the reader. Whereas I think that the celebrity profiles often go wrong when the writer becomes too much of the celebrity, meaning wants too badly to be like the celebrity, and so it's us and you, or the writer is too much the reader, meaning snarky or mean. I think somebody who's in the room with the celebrity, as you would be as a reader, and recognizes the celebrity as a human being, is the person that people want to hear from. And everything I write about that's about me, even in the Gwyneth Paltrow story, which is very specific to me, right? I have these flat feet. Who knows what you'd have seen if you were in the room? But I think that everyone could recognize themselves in you if you are not indulgent, and you know your place, which is as an emissary of the reader.
What's so funny is when I was starting to be a celebrity profiler in 1980s, before, of course, the internet or fun, there was a real effort to, as you put it, cleanse the personality of the writer, because we were told it was indulgent to leave ourselves in the article. Nobody cared about us.
Right.
They were only interested in Tom Hanks.
Right.
And so writing for me was a process of getting it all out on the page, spitting it out, spitting out the person and the experience of interviewing that person,
right,
and then taking all of my parts out and just linking the quotes in the best way. And that's what editors made us do.
I also think, though, sometimes I think that it is that people who are better at this than I am are able to do it without inserting themselves. I don't think that my way is the best way. I think that, there's also a first-person narrator in my book. Like, I don't know that I can write another way, and I don't think that makes it great. I think that's just what I'm capable of doing.
And it makes it yours.
Thank you. I mean, I never set out to do anything in particular like that, but thank you.
And you know that people love it. I mean, people
now
have
do.
fans.
Now
right.
I understand that it is a thing that it is liked, but when I was doing it, I was not setting out to invent anything.
And did your editors at the Times and other places say, "Oh, Taffy, what are you doing here? This isn't enough star. This is too much you"?
No, this at the men's magazines, they were very, very supportive of it. At the women's magazines, they were less so. Yeah, it was really interesting. But those are two different kinds of places. It's not that men's magazines are to men as women's magazines are to women.
Right.
They serve completely different purposes.
Men have upset me and women have upset me at work, but the women made me cry. The men made me angry.
I mean, I went to an all-girls high school. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
I have 3 sisters.
Yeah, that's right. You come from a coven.
I'm hard.
Okay, so you're in a room with Bradley Cooper.
Yes.
No publicist.
Never.
He thinks you think it's going well.
I think we're having. I never misrepresented myself. He never misrepresented himself. We're having an interview.
At any point, did you think, and I'm only asking you this because I have not interviewed him, but I've interviewed many male stars. Mm-hmm. At any point, did you think, okay, I know I'm married, I know I have kids, but he seems to like me, and I wonder, could I? You never had a moment like that?
Never. Except this was my moment. This was my only moment. That there is a strain of boy child in my family that my mother thinks looks like Bradley Cooper. Mm-hmm. Like kind of a high up nose and blue eyes and we have
like
3 or 4
Gaga.
of those.
Yeah.
We have 3 or 4 of those.
Uh-huh.
And sitting there looking at him, I thought, no, we have nobody who looks like Bradley Cooper.
That was your whole moment.
That was my whole moment.
Okay,
because
that's not what I'm asking.
It's not. But I don't think of myself as a woman in those interviews. I think of myself as like someone's chronic condition. I don't think of myself as even human then.
But wait, didn't Tom Hiddleston or Hiddleston? Who is he? Do I have to care about him?
You should care about him because he's a mensch. He is a mensch of an actor. He's a mensch of a person. And he is a very, very good actor. And he is mostly in Stars and Things in the UK.
And there was a rumor that you were dating.
There was not. There was the Daily Mail, which took
Is
paparazzi.
the greatest.
Which is neck and neck. Next to the New York Times, most factual.
The most factual.
Someone took paparazzi photos of us saying goodbye to each other in a very we were French kissing in a very platonic way and turned it into an amazing several-page article about how there's no confirmation, and I was called a mystery brunette, and it was amazing.
It's a dream come true.
It was
honestly.
You know what? He called me up afterward, and he said, "I'm so sorry. This is such an embarrassment. I hope your husband knows I meant no disrespect." And I said, "Tom,
you didn't do anything.
This was the greatest week of my life. Please don't worry."
And now my husband is dating a mystery brunette.
Now my husband is very happy to be with a mystery brunette.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's great for everybody.
All around.
What I'm saying is that's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
Now, Bradley Cooper, after your article came out, how was that?
Well, I thought I did a good, I pride myself on being decent, and I pride myself on never being mean, but I also pride myself on doing a good job. And I thought it was he was not interested in being profiled for his personality. He did not understand why people should be interested in him. And I said that, it's my job is to do, I went into this weird existential thing afterward where I started to question whether or not my job had any validity. And the answer is, it's actually a totally legitimate thing to want to meet the people who created something that meant something to you. And he does not believe that. I wonder if
I don't think he really believes what he purported to believe.
You think so? I'll take him at his word.
I don't know. I mean, he's somewhat educated and intelligent,
He's
right?
He's very intelligent. He
speaks French.
He speaks French. He was learning Russian when we met. Summa cum laude from Georgetown. I could not even find Georgetown.
Summa cum laude?
I could not even find Georgetown with my GPS.
Oh, my God.
So he is... I think that he just rejected the notion of the thing that he showed up to, which was an interview.
Well, that has happened to me.
Has it? Who
Yeah.
did it to you?
Well, it was Tom Hanks. And
Is that true?
Yeah, and it was really uncomfortable. And
Tell me what
particularly,
happened. Tell me everything.
Well, because his PR people had been contacting me in the way that people used to. I think that means by pigeon.
Yeah, sure.
I forget.
They sent
What did they use?
someone on a horse to
Someone
you.
on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
horse
It's the
with
80s.
with a
Yeah.
torch came over and said, "Would you do this?" He's in a movie called, what was it? I think he was
What year
in,
is it?
It was in the year 10. I believe it was comic strip, comic something.
Punchline.
Punchline.
In the year 10.
In the year 10.
But not 2010.
No, in the year
Like
10.
so, like 87 is what you're saying.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's creepily probably spot on.
Yeah.
87. It could have been 87.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we met a couple of times, and he was so flip. If I asked him how he enjoyed his time when he wasn't working between movies. Oh, is this the hobby question? And I felt he was so dismissive and so glib. And I really was so disappointed in myself as being able to elicit, because I usually don't have that trouble with someone.
And it's so embarrassing when they call you out on it.
It just made me feel like some kind of nothing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because of all the actors in Hollywood, he's the most beloved and he's the most popular and so trusted. He's Jimmy Stewart all over again. And you know what? When our photographer went out to LA to shoot his picture, he said, "Oh, I love him. Was he great?" And I thought, I'm not going to tell him because I want him to have a great time with him, and maybe it was just a bad day. So Parade Magazine not only sent a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer to Los Angeles to take this picture, but they rented a car. He didn't want to wear his own clothes. They rented wardrobe. They rented a house. And as soon as the stylist got it all set up and the lights were all set up, he said, "I got to go."
No.
So in 1987, he wasn't a great guy.
Oh. But do you think that actually means that he was like...
I think he was
had nothing to... Like, this is what I sometimes think. I sometimes think a guy like Tom Hanks, maybe he has... Like, the stakes are so high because he's thought of well, and the only way it could go is down. And maybe he looks at you and he sees someone who's too smart, or he sees someone who maybe doesn't seem so impressed, and he gets worried because all it takes is one story. I mean, I'm very careful with that.
You know what? I don't think he was as highly regarded at the time as he is now.
Right.
And I think what I later learned was that he was in the midst of a divorce.
Oh.
So he was in a
He just
bad
didn't wanna
mood.
talk
But
and-
then again, then don't have your publicist hawk me by car and by pigeon.
By torch, yeah.
And by torch.
The torches.
Do
It's
that
true, it's
later
true.
when he's in the mood. Get agreement. I mean, I think as a celebrity journalist, you find out very early on that the publicists who are your front line between you and the star themselves who hire them are not always in sync and don't always report back to one another.
Or that you don't even know what you don't know. Like, I feel like that's a relationship that's very close. We have no idea who says what to us. I don't even try to figure it out anymore.
People are being protected. They don't know they're being protected. They don't want to be
Their
protected.
obligation is to the client always.
Right.
You know, it's hard. It's very hard.
Are you able to, you said you never have the publicist in the room?
Yes.
That's a requirement?
Of both of the places that I've worked most, the Times and GQ. That's a requirement of the places.
As it should be.
As it should be. It ruins the intimacy of it when there's a third person watching. There's like no opportunity to become close with somebody. And it assumes that we're going to ask questions that are like disgusting.
Well, it also makes you feel like you're the enemy.
Yeah.
And you're not the enemy.
Right.
You're
like
the
this
friendly.
is like a congressional hearing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's pivot now
Let's pivot.
to Fleishman.
Fleishman.
Your first novel. How did you write a novel and move to New Jersey and have two children and have a job and do it all at the same time? And I'm not just asking for me. I'm asking for womankind.
Sure. Okay. like, here, womankind, the
Okay.
answer is I did it to the detriment of my relationships with my friends, with my family. My children know me as someone who, like, has spent many weekends away from them for my work. I did it to the detriment of my body, right? I haven't exercised. I haven't prepared my, like,
She
things-
looks good. No, she looks good.
It's not true.
And she's very attractive, and she has a beautiful speaking voice, as you all know now.
Well, yes, it's the voice doesn't need it. Thank you.
Oh, shh.
But it
Taffy,
came at
Taffy.
at a lot of cost, where friends, carpool partners, people have been extraordinarily generous with me. But I haven't read a book that I didn't need to read in about 3.5 years, except for 2 of the Elena Ferrante books.
Uh-huh.
I haven't, which I did as like an act of rebellion. I haven't gotten together with the moms at school on a regular basis, which I badly wanted to do.
Oh,
my friend,
uh-huh.
My friend Jen Adler, she wants to go to dinner. Her kids are away at summer camp, and I would like to do that too. And I am stuck in this kind of in-between of never understanding if anyone really knows that I would like to. But I've made these choices. I don't know if I made the right choices. I know that it didn't feel like there was any other time to do it except now, when these issues were eating at me.
Yes, the sacrifice of relationships is part of it. But I want to know very specifically and not theoretically
Okay.
when you wrote this novel.
Okay, I can answer that.
Yeah.
So I opened up a Word document one day, and I kept it open on my computer. And for 6 months, I did not shut my computer down. I did not close the document, no matter how long it got, no matter how much I knew it was eating at my power. I made rules, very specific rules. If I was on an airplane, I would only work on the book. If I was, once the kids went to sleep on a Sunday night, I would only work on the book. During a commute, I would only work on the book.
So you had enough of the book structure and direction and outline in your head that you could actually work on it in any place.
No, it came as I wrote it, but I've read enough books to know how a story. I'm a good storyteller. That's what I think I learned at NYU. And also I'm a huge student of storytelling. I listen to storytelling podcasts. I'll still read Robert McKee every now and again, just for fun. Like, I've read Robert McKee 7 times. What haven't I read? The Odyssey.
Yeah.
I.
Robert McKee, for all of you who don't know, is the sort of guru of screenwriting, and he's written a book and he teaches this kind
It's
of
called
culty
Story.
class.
Yeah, and I've never taken the class.
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I took
What's it like? Is it like an adaptation?
What it is this kind of arrogant guy
Yeah,
who won't
I
take
bet.
questions. You can't go to the bathroom.
Really? That's a cult. When they don't let you go to the bathroom, you're
He's
in a
Werner
cult.
Erhard, probably. They've
Yeah.
never been seen together. Who knows? But and he talks about 20 pages into every screenplay is the inciting incident.
Oh, yeah.
It's very formula. But what is good about that class is watching Casablanca with him.
Oh, really?
Because he breaks it down.
To everything.
It takes about 6 hours.
He does that in his book.
I know. And it's the best 6 hours.
Wait, you watch the whole thing there?
He stops it every 20 seconds to tell you what you should be looking at in the frame and what.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I'm a big student of that. I'm a big student of like comedy podcasts that talk about the craft of comedy, because comedy is always about well-told stories. There's this podcast that I'm crazy about right now called Script Notes, written by two really great screenwriters, John August and Craig Mazin, and their archives are available for $1.99 a month and a bargain at any price on the website, and I feel like I'm very in touch with how to tell a story. And I also have like a real drive of desperation where I need to finish things even when they're hard, because I can't bear that I've wasted time on anything. I always feel like I got a late start to things, and that's never caught up with me. Does that make sense?
It does, but it's all in your
Sure,
mind,
I
of
don't
course.
care. What do I
yeah,
care?
Yeah. So your husband had to take the kids to birthday parties.
Yes.
Your husband had to make breakfast.
Yes.
Your husband had to do a lot of
Yes.
stuff, and which is why you dedicated the book
There are
to
many reasons
many
I dedicated
reasons.
this book to him, and that was one of them. That he once he saw that it was happening, he made it very easy for me to do, knowing that he could only make it so easy. The rest was going to be so hard. The rest was children who for a while hated just the idea of the book until it came out and they saw it in like the window in a bookstore. Like then they got
Then
excited.
it became real.
Then it became real.
And they're little.
Yeah, they're little. They're
Yeah.
little.
Well,
And everyone's
maybe you'll have
going to
another.
Maybe.
You can watch him do
I know.
those things
Yeah.
that you didn't get to see. But the thing is also
I never missed a basketball game. I maybe missed two of them.
Well, so there you go.
There you go. But I felt bad.
Stop beating yourself up.
I don't know. Do you ever not beat yourself up about?
No.
So there you go.
No.
Yeah.
Not never.
No. What? Too many double negatives.
I know.
Do you beat yourself up?
Always.
There you go. Why are we so good at telling other people not to beat themselves up when we just beat ourselves up? We're exceptions.
I do a lot of silly things.
It's true. We all do.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm much better at telling other people what to do than telling myself what to do. That's just the way it is.
Our Jewish destiny.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's anybody. But
Yeah.
add 20% for the Jew.
Maybe 20%.
For the Jewish thing.
Yeah.
So this is a novel about marriage and love and divorce in the 21st century.
Yes.
It really does begin with dating apps.
Yeah.
In fact, I read a review of your book that was it was a good review, but the subtitle was, or the title of the review was, Taffy Brodesser-Akner's book looks at dating. And I thought, no.
It's hard to
not
categorize.
Well, it's an adult book about relationships.
Right. It's about middle age. A lot of it's about middle age.
Okay, let's call it that. Let's call it the people involved are 40.
Yeah. In their 40s.
In their 40s, and they have all been married long enough or been, in one case, single long enough that it's time for a reckoning, in a way.
Yes.
Is that a good way to describe it?
Absolutely.
And we start with the protagonist who has been basically dumped. He is separated. He and his wife are separated.
Yeah.
He has the kids. He's mostly parenting. But when he's not parenting or working at his job as a liver doctor, he is on these sites. And women in New York are sending him pictures of their voo-voo and their tata.
Yeah, I guess.
And
if those
tushy.
things think I'm what I think they mean, then
I
yes.
think so. And so, and you don't name an actual existing
I named them
website,
myself, yeah.
right? But that was a good one. But I imagine you, in part of your research, while you're married and have these kids that you're neglecting in New Jersey, that you are also going online and seeing these couples or swiping.
Most of my research came from divorced friends who showed me their phones and who showed me what it was like. But I did think that at some point I had to download the apps.
Right.
And I did download a few apps, and I lasted about half an hour on each of them.
Did you feel gross?
Not only did I feel gross, and not only was
That's a
I
term of art.
shocked. Not only was I shocked at what I saw in a way that is not cool for someone who thinks of herself as a person of the culture.
Savant.
Of the culture. That was not cool. But then again, remember, I'm a yeshiva girl. What was very upsetting to me was the lie, like that I work at a place. Even before I worked at this place, despite what they show you in movies, we don't really go undercover as journalists. We don't really lie to people about what we're doing. In fact,
we don't.
We have to say, "Hey, I'm a journalist," just so you know you have a journalist in the room,
right?
And
You have to show your badge.
And it felt very bad to not be telling them.
Right.
To lead people on, and also to lead people on into thinking that they might get lucky tonight.
They might get a picture of your
they're not gonna
poo-poo.
They're not getting a poo-poo or a voo-voo or a tata picture.
How quickly within the online world, let's say you join and download now, how quickly between now and your first picture, whether it's
already gone. Like in the time you described it, you've already gotten
God.
a picture of someone's penis.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Or someone asking you if you could fillet them while looking them in the eye.
Now, these are just the normal apps. These are not sex apps. These are
these
like
are just
Match or
yeah.
Tinder or whatever.
They're all there for that.
Okay, so wait, Taffy, in the weddings that you read about in the Sunday Times, or at least that I read about, many, many couples have met on these sites.
Yeah.
Is it about middle age? Is it like the young people who do it treat one another with more respect, and the middle-aged people think, I don't have any time. I want to see his penis. I want to see her tata.
I think that men are under the impression, if I may generalize.
Please, that's all we do.
I think that men are under the impression that the penis works, assuming heterosexuality here, the penis works for the woman the way breasts work for the men. They are like an enticement. They don't really understand it's a utilitarian sort of, maybe for some women.
If my eyes
no one I know.
are not spinning in my head, it's only because I did eye exercises today.
You
I
did
cannot
eye
believe what
exercises.
you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying, hi, my name is Mysterious Brunette.
But also,
here's my penis. Would you like to have a drink and discuss?
No, it's more like
discuss the movies?
From my experience, two people, let's say you were to meet in real life. IRL. Let's say you were at your 92nd Street Y singles mixer in the 90s. Let's just say.
Okay.
Everyone knows what they're doing there. I am at the end of a road. Please help me.
Yes.
I too am at the end of a road. Please help me. You get onto an app, which is the way people meet now. It is not the way some people meet.
Or blind dates,
it
right.
is nothing. This is the way people meet. And they're, other than filling things out, which people can be disingenuous about, you're not sure why
they're there.
Right. You know why you're there. But in the apps, which appeal greatly to me in their multitasking, like you could be setting up a whole week of things while you're watching TV. That appeals to me greatly.
You could.
Oh, my God. I mean,
I have a lunch, I have a drink, I have a drink.
You could have done it.
Right.
But what's absent is the looking each other in the eye as a man decides what to tell you, for example, and watching your face fall a little bit as your
soul dies.
Oh my God, is that all I am to you? It was really helpful to be able to look each other in the eye. It had disadvantages in that, dating wasn't great for me. I was always too cheerful and excited to meet people. And I don't know if the apps would have been better for me. I just know that this is absent all the mirror neurons.
No, but what you're saying is, I say I'm a person who enjoys theater, books, and long walks on the beach. Yeah. And someone says, me too, look at my penis.
Sometimes it's like that. But I don't think the people who send you the penis, I don't know. I can't figure it out. None of the friends I have
Maybe they enjoy
admitted.
the frisson of shock they're creating.
I mean, a friend of mine told me recently that she was in the subway and a man airdropped a picture of his penis to her from across the platform. And I thought he couldn't be trying to go out on a date with her. He's doing something abusive there.
It's like exposing himself in a
really is.
trench coat.
Yeah. It's like exposing yourself in a trench coat.
So really that's what's going on for middle-aged people.
Sometimes. And sometimes it's, here's a picture of my penis, and the woman's like, oh yeah. You don't know. Because I think that there's also a dynamic where we as women, if you watch kind of through the history of pornography, men's desire is to get off, and a woman's desire seems to be to please a man. Meaning it's not that that women are pleasing men because of the way the system is set up. Maybe that's true. But what's also true is that it might be a function of women's desire to be pleasing to a man. That might be that might be the female dick pic could be pleasing a man. Who knows?
Right,
I don't know. I was on JDate for like 20 minutes. My handle was Matzo Bride. Like that. I didn't last long.
Yeah.
And I finally met the guy I married. That said, the people I know who are using apps, I don't know if it's going well. I know that it's the water now. It doesn't matter if it's going well. It's how it's going.
It
would be like my mother
Man.
saying, "Are bars working for you?" It doesn't matter. It's where you go.
It's
like if you didn't
the
do
only
it
way to do it.
If it's not at college, if it's not at work. Also, you're not allowed to meet anyone at work anymore.
Right.
What are you going to do? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not
grim.
an expert in these things.
That's grim.
I'm merely an observer.
No, you were a good observer. So then, okay, so we have this shock, this man, this good guy who starts getting all these pictures of cleavage and
butt
ass
crack and side boob
and side boob and under boob
and regular boob
and boob.
Just
and
boob.
he starts. And he's with his kids, and he has to hide his phone, and he has to go to work, and he has to hide his phone, but he's also intrigued and turned on, and he never had that easy a time with women.
because he was so short.
Because he's so short. And his name is Toby, which is kind of a short man's
Yes.
name. I'm sure that was no coinky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a coinky dink. Yeah.
No.
So short Toby is dealing with this. The story is told by his friend Libby, who, in very primitive ways, is you.
She is like she has a lot of the markings of me. Yes.
She has a lot of the markings
Yes.
of you. And until we've really spent a lot of time in Toby's little shoes, we don't get
No.
why Libby is so important.
Right.
Oh, my God. It's so skillful.
Thank you.
Taffy Libby.
Thank you. It was hard.
So
It took a lot of revision, a lot of good edits.
Now, by the time you were really structuring the novel, you were doing that with your editor. Or were you doing that all by yourself?
I sold it as a third-person book in which Libby is a character in the book that you eventually realize probably narrated it. And I thought that's
clever too.
Yes, so maybe it was too clever. My editor said, "I think half the people will miss this. Do you want half the people to miss this?" And I said, "No, I would like to please all the people, as I always do."
As I always do, because I'm hardwired.
I am hardwired to please all the people.
All the people.
All the time. As many as
Especially if they're
possible.
men.
Especially if they're
because
men.
that's what
we just
do.
went through this. Yeah.
Right.
I'm no longer starring in pornos. Now I'm just writing.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mom wrote a porno.
Yeah.
There's a lot
My dad. Yeah.
So there's a lot of sex in it.
There's some XCX. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that hard to write?
No, it was. I've had sex many times. I have 2 children.
Oh, wow.
I've
Look
had
at
2
you.
children.
You're so advanced.
I did some real research.
Yeah.
Over the last few years.
How babies are born. Your view of marriage in Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
Is a little frightening.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I raised my kids in the world you satirize.
Oh.
I did.
Yes, I didn't know. Yes.
You know I did.
I absolutely know you did.
And the idea of these mothers who are competitive in every way.
Yeah.
They have to be the thinnest. They have to be the most soulful of soul cyclists.
Yeah.
They have to be the richest.
Everything. Yeah.
They have to have all straight hair, right?
All straight, please.
Yeah. But you know what I love? You didn't collapse and fall to the easy shorthand of mentioning brand names or stores. I get so turned off when I see those in a book because I feel like that's the author
like cheating.
Oh,
interesting.
Well, you obviously didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I also
for a reason.
There are reasons I didn't do it, and it's because I really like a thing to be timeless. I like a thing to be I would like someone to read it in 10 years and not say, you know what? If I'd written this and I used, Yves Saint Laurent, I would have said YSL. And look at this. 3 years later, it's Saint Laurent.
I know.
I mean, it would be out of date.
It would have been.
It just never occurred to me. I think I also am so not of the Upper East Side world that I don't even think I would do it right. I would be like, look at them at Bendel's. Look at them at Bergdorf's. And I'd have to go into a Bergdorf's and say,
do research.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't come naturally to me. My family, my mother reads Vogue. My family can speak that language and I cannot. I think the reason I wrote a book like this is because I've so wholly rejected the values of trying to fit in that's how it ended up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I have to give you so much respect because you've written a novel that holds my, that I went with. I leapt in and I wanted to be there. I wanted to figure it out. I sent a text to a friend of mine who had just finished reading it, who loved it.
Thank you.
I said to him, I want Rachel to die. And he said, finish the book.
Oh, good.
So,
thank you to you and your friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he and his daughter debated about it. And she said, you're middle-aged. That's why you get it. and the idea that you could do this and did it, young Taffy.
Young me.
It's a big deal.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me young.
It's a really big deal. And you were so cogent on Martini.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, really. You should do more
Just
Martini
my first
podcasts.
Martini.
Did you like it?
It was very alcoholic. Like I understand now that why people throw all these other things into alcohol now so that you don't taste it. What are we doing with something?
No. Like what? Like a lychee martini or a cappuccino martini?
I'm talking about a daiquiri. I'm like, what are we doing to disguise the taste of alcohol?
I see what you're saying. Because otherwise, we might as well just drink
rubbing
cough
alcohol.
syrup or something.
I mean, cough syrup's delicious.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
But not on the rocks.
Not on the rocks. Not
because you need that sticky.
Yeah. Olives don't do great in that.
On my last big book tour, I took my exhibits. And there was a big party, and someone handed me, and this, if anybody here knows me, you'll know that this was not a good thing. They handed me a chocolate martini. And I said, I simply cannot. And, they gave it to my 11-year-old. At the time.
Great.
Fine. This is the best party I've ever been
amazing.
to. God, I love this party. Yeah, I'll have another. You're beautiful. I love you. Yeah. No, but did you have a gin martini?
I can't.
You don't even know.
It was a vodka one with a twist.
Well, that's what I drink most of the time, but people will say
very
that's
vodka-y.
Very vodka-y, which is what I like about it. There's not enough vodka to make it vodka-y.
Oh, really?
For me, but a vodka martini is technically not a martini.
Shoot.
It's got to be gin, honey.
I have to go back.
Yeah. So now, how has your life changed now that you are the author of an 8th printing in 1 month bestseller? I would like to know.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Let me think.
Do you have a new book?
Yes, I sold it right before this came out. It's called Long Island Compromise, and it is about wealth on Long Island. And in Great Neck. It's a Great Neck book.
North?
What do you think?
Of course. Little inside.
So there's that. It's like any story that comes out, except the thing that, right now, the thing I'll say is that I'm flooded with just gratitude for all the people who cheered for this, and I'm back full time at work.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, I took my vacation, 2 weeks off. I went on a book tour, and now I'm on a story, and I have to leave first thing in the morning for a story. I'm here now.
Where are you going?
I can't tell.
Oh, right.
I can't tell because I'll give it away.
Okay, Sandra Bullock, look out.
But it is it's hard. It's also hard to metabolize the feelings. What do you do? I started out wanting to be a screenwriter or a novelist.
Well,
And then
Look,
it happened.
It happened.
And like, what do I do with it? I don't know where to put it.
I think what you do is it's like a really great secret that you wear in a locket, a virtual locket around your neck. It's like, Claude loves me.
Yeah.
The boys love me. I have a book deal. I'm
good.
I'm good.
I do. I feel that way. I felt that way for a long time because of the love of my family and the validation of my bosses.
And then when you see someone reading your book in an airport,
my face will fall off. Right.
It's like having a out of body experience. It's so great.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. It happened to me. Did you see that it happened to me?
No, I didn't know, but
it happened to me.
I'm not surprised.
I lunged to take a picture. I said, "I'm so sorry. I wrote that."
Oh,
and she
they
said,
were so...
"Did you?" And I said, Turn to the flat. It was me. Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Taffy, I'm quelling.
Thank you.
I had nothing to do with your success, but I enjoy every moment.
I appreciate it.
And I feel like I can relate to it. I also feel like you're my competition. So
all right, we have
give
to
me your 5 and get the hell out of here.
Here are my 5. Okay.
Okay, so number 1 on your 5
is
best things.
Yeah. Oat milk.
I couldn't agree more.
Really?
Yeah, but Oatly in particular.
Oatly is great.
Number 2.
Okay, summer, really for the first time. I have always resisted summer because I've had massive body issues and I'm always dreading putting clothing on or a bathing suit on. And this summer, just things have changed. I just am enjoying the weather. I am enjoying the heat. And I am wearing clothing that fits instead of dreading another summer where I wish I fit into something else. Maybe it's the middle age thing, the softening.
This is who I am.
This is who I am, and like maybe it's fine. I don't know. Maybe I'm there.
Well, you look good to me.
Thank
and
you.
You know what? This summer has been a good summer.
It's been a good
I mean,
summer.
for you, it's been a really good summer.
It's been a very fast summer for me so far.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I kind of haven't looked up.
Are you referring to summer as a noun or a verb, by the way?
Noun. I'm not rich enough to
not yet.
refer to it as a verb.
Okay.
Soon, maybe, I hope.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Movie rights,
Oh, wait. Have you sold them yet?
Not yet. In discussion.
You will. Yeah. You will. You will.
Thank you.
You just will.
I appreciate it.
Number 3.
Watching TV with my children, I think there is nothing more that I love. Last night we watched Popeye.
The Popeye movie?
Yeah, the Robin
Williams.
Yeah, it was a friend of yours, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in ages.
I hadn't seen it in ages, and it is amazing. And you can't believe what Altman was trying to do, and you can't believe what like now I understand why I can't ever look at Shelley Duvall except in this totally
as olive oil.
Yeah, this way.
Popeye.
It was amazing.
By the way, don't you
commitment.
feel that Robert Altman was misunderstood in large part?
A million times.
I think he was for a long time my favorite film director.
I think he still is for a lot of people. I don't think he was misunderstood. I think he was always like a taste, the non-3-act acquired taste.
Right. If anybody has ever been interrupted in this lifetime, they know that Robert Altman made movies about real conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Do your kids like series more or movies more?
They like series more, and I feel like it's my job to educate them on movies.
It actually is.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, very good. See, you are a good mother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. And that counts.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll make them
like,
listen to this so they know.
Please. I don't feel that I'm a good mother.
No, none of us do.
But I feel that I can designate
I feel like you do.
you.
I feel like I've seen you be a mother. You're a good mother.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Number 4.
Manhattan, just the place.
Not the movie.
I mean the movie. That's another conversation.
That's another
but the
one.
place.
Yeah.
People, I returned to New York after 10 years in Los Angeles. And while I was there, Manhattan was no longer a place people lived. Now it was Brooklyn.
Right.
And I gotta say, that's very nice. But Manhattan is wonderful.
Yeah.
And when I think of like the most amazing place to live in the world, I think it's Manhattan. And I walk around here and I my head explodes. I cannot believe the happiness and the luck and the proximity and the Pilates right next to the Chinese place and the dry cleaner and all of it.
And not having to drive everywhere.
Not having to drive everywhere and being among other people, being not being as isolated as I am in a suburb. Maybe in Brooklyn, I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know, it's a long story.
It's a long story.
And then the last thing, room service.
I can't disagree with you on that.
There's just something about being given what you've asked for in your room that, to me, I can't imagine what else a person could want. I once pitched an idea to Redbook, or maybe it was Ladies' Home Journal.
Those are magazines that don't exist anymore.
I think Redbook does. I think Redbook
does.
I think that I pitched this idea that for a week I would have a craft services truck outside my house and see what could I accomplish if I didn't have to erect a sandwich, pour a bowl of cereal. No one would fall for it. No one would do this for me.
It's the best idea.
It's the best idea.
I remember when I got home from one of my book tours, all I wanted to do was redecorate my apartment to look like a hotel room. Including...
Which hotel room?
Any. Yeah. Including, I was only staying at,
fancy ones.
Not that, Hyatt's and stuff.
No, really?
Yeah. Workman Publishing.
Oh.
And I would, but later it got better, but I wanted room service.
Sure.
I wanted a button on my phone that connected to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You were the one that was going to answer it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that takes away some of the, right, that takes away a lot of the fun. I would have gotten a dick pic or something. But yet, room service, especially when you're on a hotel's 800 count sheet with the feather mattress and stuff.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And they come and then they bring it away and there's a flower sometimes.
A flower and
a
if
tiny
you spill,
ketchup.
You don't, the tiny ketchup.
They're so
the
adorable.
Tiny honey.
The tiny honey and the tiny little jelly.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
And then if you spill it, it's not your problem.
It's not your problem.
I know.
It's really nice.
I know. Well, Taffy, you're nice.
Lisa, you're nice.
I'm glad you came today.
Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to 5 Things That Make Life Better with me, Lisa Birnbach. My guest this week has been Taffy Brodesser-Akner, author of the best-selling novel Fleishman Is in Trouble, published last month by Random House, now in its 8th printing. You can follow her on Twitter at Taffy Akner or at her website, taffyakner.com. I wonder how she came up with that. You can subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. My blog is at lisabirnbach.com, where you'll find links and photos about all the things we spoke about here today. The podcast is produced in New York City by thefieldtv.com. My engineer is Jimmy Regan. My team is Spressa Urucci, Michael Port, and Sam Haft. Until next week, stay cool. Do stay cool and act natural. Bye-bye.
That was 5 Things with Lisa Birnbach. New episodes every Friday, if she remembers.